Isreal Adesanya versus Yoel Romero is right around the corner at this point, and I am still reflecting and thinking about the fact that I didn't think that this fight was possible. I actually made a video prior to all this happening on Isreal Adesanya's future opponents after Robert Whittaker, and none of which pertained to Yoel Romero. I actually covered him on it, and it only took me about 5 seconds to break down why Yoel Romero wasn't going to be fighting Isreal Adesanya. And the reason is because Yoel Romero has one win in his last 4 fights. Yoel Romero was coming off of a loss. Yoel Romero, you don't put in people that are coming off of a loss into title shots, especially when that person coming off of a loss is going into a title shot against one of your cash cows, especially when that person coming off of a loss going into that title fight against one of your cash cows has a strong argument for him that he might win that fight. I knew it wasn't going to be Robert. I figured that they would probably cue him up and have him wait for Paulo Costa to come off of injury, or throw him in against Jared Cannonier, even though I did believe that Jared Cannonier is a secret star in that division. A couple more KOs, and you might see Jared hit the mainstream. We're in a great place with MMA right now for that reason and that reason alone. The fact that there's so many more fans, so many more people that are just in it to see the exciting knockouts, that ESPN airs your clip at the right time of you KOing somebody, and all of a sudden you're Jorge Masvidal. You know what I mean here? He KO'd Darren Till. People KO people all the time. Then he KO'd Askren. That shot him to superstardom. But it started with Till, and he got a humongous push after Till. And it came from the UFC pushing him because it was coming from the fans, because they saw the knockout. That's how this is working now. So I believe that they should have queued up Jared for a little bit longer. Good play. But I didn't know who Isreal Adesanya was going to face. I knew he said that he wanted Yoel Romero, but I didn't think it was actually going to be something that the UFC was willing to do. It seems like the UFC is more willing to take these risks and decisions now. And I don't know if this is someone on a higher scale making the decisions for ESPN, if Dana White has more of a say now, or if they're just in a place right now with a company that they are able to take these risks on these fights and say, let's see what happens. It's paid off in the past. Let's see if it pays off again. Yoel Romero is a freak of nature. I think he's 42, 43 years old. Moves better than I do. I just turned 23 a couple days ago. On February 14th, I turned 23. I move good. I think I move great. Yoel Romero moves even better. Bowser even agrees. Yoel Romero moves like a savage. He's built like a machine, but moves like there's not a single part that needs oil on his body. This is a very dangerous fight for Isreal Adesanya, but I will say, in Yoel Romero's last performance against Paulo Costa, now unless I am severely underrating Paulo Costa's ability, because I do not give Paulo Costa that much respect in that division, I did not see what I needed to out of Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero made a change about 4 or 5 years ago where he started to lessen his pace. He kind of waits, absorbs shots, waits, and then explodes. It's because Yoel Romero was getting himself into bad situations where he was emptying his gas tank early. He wasn't able to recover, and people that weren't as good as him were beating him. If you think about, think about having statistics as a fighter. You have your offense, defense, and health. Let's just say those ones. As your stamina goes down, let's say just for instance that Yoel Romero is a 99 in every category. 99 health, 99 health, offense, and defense. As his stamina drops and depletes, once he gets to 50% stamina, he may only be at 80 offense, defense, and health. He gets to 0%, he's going to see all those statistics crash. Yoel Romero started to take more time to find his shots, and he actually went to go find his shots, but it's still that explosiveness of Yoel Romero that makes him so scary. I didn't see him decide to turn that on against Paulo Costa. See, he was waiting, and I was waiting, as you were probably waiting while watching, and I just didn't see it happen. I didn't see it happen against Robert Whittaker the second time either. A couple times in there, which I do think won Yoel Romero that fight. But we saw what happened between Isreal Adesanya and Robert Whittaker. Now, styles do make fights. Straight MMA math does not work. Just because A beat B and B beats C does not mean that A beats C as well. There's a lot more going on here. A lot more strategical chess moves at play within how the two of them line up, depending on the Son of a bitch. What I'm saying here is just because Yoel Romero went 50 minutes with Robert Whittaker and lost twice, on the scorecards. And Isreal Adesanya only took him about 7 minutes to beat Robert. Doesn't mean that Isreal Adesanya just goes in there and blows through Yoel Romero. Though I'm saying that's not what's going to happen. It's very well possible that Yoel Romero can get dusted by Isreal Adesanya just as quick as Robert did, or even quicker. There's also the possibility that Yoel Romero picks up Isreal Adesanya, sets Isreal Adesanya down on his head, and Isreal doesn't get back up. That's why we're fight fans. It's the question, the what ifs, the can this happen. Even if it's the of course but maybes. Of course Isreal Adesanya is going to beat Yoel Romero. Yeah, but maybe. Of course you should go train today. But maybe one day wouldn't hurt. Of course Floyd Mayweather's going to beat Conor McGregor. But maybe. And that's why we have underdogs. And that's why we have people that turn $100 into $1,000 every weekend. It's because of these underdogs. Because of the of course but maybes. They bet on the maybe and maybe ends up being right. Yoel Romero versus Isreal Adesanya. More in-depth, strategical, analytical, deep breakdown coming soon. Remember, stay combative, my friends. You're always in training camp for your next fight. You're going to sign them out, Bees, or just say goodbye to them real quick. Say goodbye to the people.